What's good, YouTube? Welcome back to our YouTube channel. Today I have a quick video for you guys. Wanted to kind of talk about the 2022 NBA draft and a certain prospect in this year's draft, or I'm assuming that he's gonna declare for the draft this year, in Patrick Baldwin Jr. Wanted to talk about his decision to go to the University of Milwaukee instead of Duke. Wanted to talk about how that impacted his draft stock heading into this year's draft, and what are the new expectations for Patrick Baldwin Jr., as I think that what is expected out of him now at the NBA level has dramatically changed, and it should, based on where he's gonna get drafted at if he declares this year. And so I wanted to talk about all that. Leave your thoughts down in the comment section below on Patrick. Let me know what you think of him, and with that being said, let's get into the video. So coming out of high school, Patrick Baldwin Jr. was a very highly recruited player. He was a consensus top 5 guy, had accolades from every single source, had all the credentials you would want out of a top prospect, was someone who was supposed to be a one and done type guy, someone who could come in to the college game and make an immediate impact and be a program type changing guy. And so his final 2 schools ended up being the University of Milwaukee and the University of Duke. And for most people, obviously that's a pretty easy choice. They're 2 programs on 2 completely different levels. But with his dad being the coach at University of Milwaukee, he decided to go there and play for his dad. And I thought that was really cool, and I thought it had the potential to be a really good decision. When you look at Patrick Baldwin in his game, he's a 6'9", 6'10", small forward / power forward, kind of a modern day 4. Someone who's able to put the ball on the floor, create shots for himself. He's extremely long, fluid athlete, really clean shooting stroke, and can really just be someone who could score at all 3 levels. And so he fit and still does fit today's basketball very well. As I said, he can play that modern day 4, very, I think, kind of Jason Tatum like. He has a similar skill set to him. Now, obviously, there's a ton of stuff he's gonna have to improve on and to get to even close to Jason Tatum's level. But I think that's the type of skill set he had. And so, going to play for his dad, I thought he had an opportunity to put up big time stats at the University of Milwaukee and be a guy who could be a monster at the college level. I mean, he's just such a tough mismatch, and there's not a lot of guys in college that I thought could match up with him. Unfortunately for Patrick, this season couldn't have gone probably any worse. He ended up just having a terrible season. He wasn't very good, and he got hurt. He had an ankle injury that basically forced him to miss his entire senior year of high school basketball. And in his time in college, he ended up injuring that same ankle or foot or whatnot, and caused him to only play in 11 games, starting 10 of them. And in those 11 games, Patrick was very disappointing. I was someone who was actually able to watch him in his first college game, and in that game he had 21 and 10. It was a very quiet 21 points, and I think that's been the big knock on him outside of just production, is when you watch him in person, he's a very relaxed, very chill, doesn't have a very aggressive personality, and he seemed to just kind of let the game come to him. He didn't take over or demand the ball or try prove that he was the best player on the floor. He just kind of floated and drifted throughout the game, and there were moments in that first game where he was really good. He got to his spots, he was able to knock down some mid-range jumpers. You could see with his shooting stroke that he could shoot the 3 ball, and so he showed flashes. It was a quiet 21 and 10, but I thought that was a pretty good first game, and I thought it was gonna lead to something, I guess, more than it ended up being, because the rest of the year was terrible for Patrick. He did not shoot the ball well at all this year. He only shot the ball at 34% from the field, which is terrible for anyone, let alone someone who's expected to be a top 5 draft pick. Only shot from 3 25% basically, which again is horrific. I believe that number is going to be misleading. I really do believe his shooting stroke will translate, and he is a good shooter. It just didn't happen this year in college, which is unfortunate. But I think overall the consensus on him was that his demeanor and his aggressiveness was just not there. He doesn't have that kind of alpha dog personality that I think you need to be a star player in the NBA. Now, as far as what should be expected out of him or where will he go in this year's draft, I still think he's going to be a first-round draft pick, which is still quite a fall from where he was expected to be, which is top 5. But he just has too much talent to pass up, in my opinion. 6'9", 6'10", can handle the ball. Still looks like he has the makings of someone who could be a shot creator and scorer for a team. And so I think it's going to be hard to pass on that talent. But again, probably end of the first round type, I think, is what will come out of it. We'll see, I guess, when the draft rolls around. But as far as his potential, I still think the sky is the limit for him. He's got all the physical tools. He's got everything you need. I think, like I said, he just has to put it all together. And so we'll see if he's able to do that. I think the first step now is to get healthy, get his foot and ankle right, and just make sure he's 100% for these summer workouts and summer league, pre-draft stuff, all that stuff. He's got to be 100%. He's got to be ready to go for that, because that's going to be huge. If he can play well in all that NBA combine and pre-draft stuff, I still wouldn't be shocked if he was somehow able to make it back into the lottery, because he's got that type of talent and that type of potential. So I wouldn't be shocked if he plays well in that stuff, if you start to see his name rise up the draft boards. Overall, as someone who was very excited to see Patrick Baldwin Jr. in his first game, this year was just nothing but a complete disappointment. His dad, I think, got fired already from the University of Milwaukee, so that sucks for him. And just like I said, it was a really disappointing year. I thought it was a pretty cool story that he was going to play for his dad, and I thought he could kill it at the mid-major level. I just, for whatever reason, it didn't work out. He got hurt. He didn't play as well as I think his potential is. And just, like I said, a really disappointing year. So, yeah, we'll see, I guess, now what happens come draft time. But leave your thoughts down in the comment section below. Let me know what you think of Patrick, his game, all that. Where do you think he's going to go in the draft? Leave all that in the comment section below. And with that being said, I'll talk to you guys later.